What was it like when your father was away in the service, and what was it like when he came back? Were there times when you didn't see him for weeks or months, or
No.
what was that like? And how many years was that you went
Well,
through that?
that happened until I graduated from Newton High and got out of there.
No kidding.
No.
Wow.
We moved every 2 to 3 years, and the Navy moved us. They would come in when they knew when Dad was being transferred, and they would come in and scoop up everything in the house and pack it all up very neatly, and nothing ever got broken. It was
Wow.
so they were so good at it, and it would be at the other end. They'd come in and unpack it.
Wow.
And so when we got to California,
Mm-hmm.
and there was only one house available at the time we got out there to Long Beach, and it was this fantastically beautiful Spanish mission house.
Oh wow.
Where it was quite large. It had
Palatial.
It had separate servants' quarters. It had bedrooms for the family, and then it had places for the servants' quarters. It had 2 kitchens, one for and 2 dining rooms. And,
Wow.
and none of us. We were there for almost 2 months, and none of us slept a wink. We just couldn't sleep on one floor, and that's why I had trouble trying to tell Dr. Cadigan I just couldn't manage to fix this house so I could sleep on one floor, and be all on one floor.
Now my question for you too, when you were little, your father got into the Navy. I know that he ended up as a rear admiral.
Yes, he did.
What did he when you were old enough to understand what was going on with him in the Navy? What level was he at? I mean,
Well, for as long as I can remember, of course, he was there. He was an officer,
Mhm.
and which meant certain perks that nobody else got.
Mhm.
But my father, because of when he was a baby, he was so sickly they had to hire a what do you call her? She was a
a nanny or
well, you
midwife?
didn't
Governess?
call her what
Governess?
a governess
something like that.
to come and live with us.
Yeah.
And because Mammy couldn't do it, and her name was Quinny, something Quinn,
Yeah.
and Capini the Quinn. She had several different nom de plume because she was a writer. She wrote history books.
Oh, no kidding.
She wrote
Neat.
Beautiful America, Beautiful Canada, a whole bunch of travel books.
So she was probably a tutor.
Well, she was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
she
'Cause he
really
couldn't go to
raised
school.
my father.
This was when he
Way.
was little.
Yes.
That's what I didn't get.
But
Okay.
he had a knack for languages. He spoke 7 languages, and he could write the 7 languages.
Wow.
And when they went to Brazil when I graduated from college, and I was supposed to go down there, and Ken and I decided to get married the day after graduation, and I didn't go down there. And I never did get there because of whatever the politics were at the time. But Dad was, he was a navigator, and he was a crack navigator, and he did all the planning and plotting, and he was very good at that too. And I think that's part of Richard's problem, incidentally. He hasn't.
Because you said Richard was colorblind, so he couldn't read the charts.
Well, that's right. He couldn't match his father, and he wanted his father's respect, and I think that's why he ended up being so nasty.
Same problem Trump
part of
has.
it.
Same problem Trump has.
Yeah. So when Dad went down there, he was called to Brazil. They all went, and I didn't get to go because I was still in school when they went.
Mm-hmm.
And but because of his ability, the naval attaché down there had been Admiral Beauregard was rather ill. He had a stomach problem and so forth. So Dad was doing all of his work.
Wow.
And I think what happened while he was there, and I was supposed to go down, and I got married instead, poor Dad. Yeah, he never said anything to me about being disappointed or anything.
Wow.
He was very good about it. He always was. He never yelled at us. He explained exactly what we had done wrong and what would have been a better idea.
Mm-hmm.
So, but while they were down there, Admiral Beauregard died, and my father ended up being the naval attaché, so they were down there for quite a few more years than
Wow.
they expected to be. And oh, there's so many things that.
So were you
happened.
apart from him all that time?
Yeah.
No kidding.
Well, Ken and I were married, and I never got down there.
Wow.
And he never laid it on me
Mhm.
at all. One thing he did do, we had gone down to Ocean City before we were married, because that's where all the kids went from college.
Is
to
that Ocean
vacation.
City,
New Jersey.
New Jersey?
Well, I was still in school, and we'd gone down there for a winter vacation, I guess, and we had decided to go down there. And of course, we signed in as man and wife, but we weren't. But we weren't. Anyway, my father figured it out,
Mm-hmm.
and when he came back, and he sat me down, and he said, "Do you realize that if that had been common knowledge there, he would have been arrested? In the laws of New Jersey at the time,
It's a federal law, the Mann
or
Act.
maybe it was a federal
Federal
law.
laws.
I'm not sure, but he would have been in deep doo-doo, really, for that." And I said, "No, I
Transporting
didn't
a
know
woman
it." But
across
see, that's
state
how
lines
that operated. He
for
didn't give
immoral
me.
purposes.
He didn't give me
That's
hell
true.
for doing it. He just
Wow.
was very understanding and explained.
Sounded like a case for Law and Order.
He was remarkable, and I'm
Wow.
sure it had a lot to do with Quinny, because she was so good at raising him, and
Mhm.
Mammy didn't have any patience. So,
Wow.
well, Daddy Miller, my father's father,
Mm-hmm.
was a very small man with a very wonderful brain and a big heart.
Mm-hmm.
He was an insurance man. He didn't make a lot of money, and Mammy, I'm sure, always felt as though she'd married beneath her.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure she did,
Yeah.
because she acted that way.
Mm.
So,
Not too bad.
and yeah, she was what was it? Something in McCoy.
Hatfield.
Hatfield. She was a Hatfield. Her family, and we used to sing the Hatfields and McCoys.
That's funny. Good.
But, well, I don't know.
Well, I'm gonna save all this, and we'll do this a few more times down the
Okay.
road.
Good.
But it's nice because we can actually
Yeah.
save it.